Hello everyone, this is Mohan Karthik from Informatica Global Customer Support. Today we are going to see about CDGC February Release 2025. Agenda for this session. Separate name for stakeholder role in MCC and DGC. Reference IDs next to the parent objects in export and re-import features. Data profiling enhancements, scanner enhancements and references. Separate name for the stakeholder role. Before February release, stakeholder role cannot be editable. If users created a stakeholder role on top of user roles, the name of the stakeholder role still remains as same as user role. From February release, user can able to change the name and description of the existing and the new stakeholder roles. We have introduced a new column called name in the stakeholder roles. Earlier we don't have that column. Impacted areas. If users search with stakeholder roles, the stakeholder name will be resulted. Even if you search with the user role, the associated stakeholder role name will be visible in the search results. Other impacted areas in Asset 360 page, ticket widget, role drop down page, workflow configuration, audit history, bulk export import, import template, reference IDs next to the parent objects. If an asset tagged with a parent object, earlier we will get the name of the asset. From February release, we are giving the reference ID next to the asset name. The delimiter for the separating the asset name and the reference ID is the space pipe symbol space. In the re-import template or the import template, user can use either name, reference ID or both together. Data profiling enhancements. Supportability for the external tables created with Parquet and CSV files for the data profiling, data quality and data preview in Databricks scanner. Supportability for the data type unique identifier for data profiling, data quality and data preview in SQL Server Scanner as well as in Azure SQL Server Scanner. Scanner enhancements. We are introducing a new feature called fail fast mechanism for SQL programmable objects, incremental scan, incremental scheduler support, AWS S3 scanner enhancements, ADF scanner enhancements.
Fail fast mechanism for SQL programmable objects. When parsing views, procedures, functions, triggers, it sometimes happens for processing the particular objects for a long time, resulting in scanner execution for long time and consume more memory. With this mechanism, we will detect the long running objects and we can skip the objects. By default, we can set a processing time, max processing time for the objects. This parameter can be set via export parameter. Scenarios. Fail fast mechanism will only relate to SQL no matter where the SQL happens, either in executing a procedure in a view or calling another procedure or an ETL transformation logic. Configuration. SQL.max object processing time. By default, it will be a value with 30 minutes for all the scanners. Logging. If the scan processing a particular object more than the defined time, then we will skip the object and logging as the displayed log trace. It will provide the name, vendor, and which phase it has been skipped the asset, database name, connection name, and then schema name. Incremental scan. What is incremental scan? An incremental scan processes only new or modified data from the source since the last successful scan, making it faster and resource efficient by avoiding scanning the redundant data. Why incremental scan required? We perform incremental scan to save time and resource by processing only the new or changed data since the last scan, rather than rescanning the entire dataset. This approach reduces the scanning of redundant data, load on the system, and time up, and also sync with the source system without scanning the redundant data. Incremental scan is based on the last successful scan time. Supported sources from November releases, Snowflake and AWS S3. New, new sources supported for February release are SQL Server, AWS Gen 2. Incremental scheduler support. Before February release, if the scan is scheduled with incremental metadata extraction and the metadata change policy as delete, it will not check the last modified date and extract in a complete mode. Starting from February release, the scan is scheduled with incremental metadata extraction. Even the scan is configured with delete as the metadata change policy. The scan still run with retain as a metadata change policy. AWS S3 enhancements. ORC file is supported as an hierarchical file in AWS S3 catalog source. Before February release, this file is supported as a file type. After February release, this file is considered as a hierarchical file. Azure Data Factory enhancements. For each activity defines a repeating control flow in Azure Data Factory. This activity is used to iterate over the collections of tables or data and executes a specified logic over that collections in a loop. Using a script activity, you can execute the common operations like insert, update, delete, DML and DDL activity can be performed. There is no change with respect to catalog source configuration in MCC. From February release, a new asset type called activity instance script and statement is introduced. Activity instance will be extracted in case of operation metadata is enabled. Old model don't have an activity instance script and statement. Now we have introduced activity instance script and statement. For each activity with operation metadata enabled, consider a loop is there to apply a logic on set of tables stored in an array. So before February release, we will have a combined lineage in the activity. Now, for each table, we have a separate activity instance will be available. For each activity without operation metadata, you can see the left side, source side, all tables combined here to the target. The data is flowing. Script activity. We support both query and non-query activities. From the source to target, it will happen and through the statement. References. At the end, we love to hear from you. Please reach out to us in case of any queries regarding the futures. Thank you.